Hello guys, let's begin. So we have to start from powers and functions of the commission. We have done that what is the national commission and the state commissions, assist them in the working and all that stuff, qualifications for the members of the commission, for who will be the head of the commission, all that stuff we have covered in the previous video that was uploaded on the channel. Now we will start with the powers and functions or duties of the National Commission. So you can see, first one is inquiry and investigation. One of the commission's role is to conduct inquiry and investigation into the alleged violation of human rights or abatement or negligence in the prevention of such violation by a public servant. That means one of the important role or function of the commission is, first of all, it will inquire, it will check that whether there is a violation of human right or not. So it will inquire, investigate properly, collect the evidences and so on to find out whether alleged means जो इल्ज़ाम लगाया गया है, I have pointed out that this particular human right or this particular fundamental right is violated, so you have attacked it upon somebody. Now you have to prove it. Whatever allegations are put forward, you have to prove it so that you may get a remedy and the wrongdoer may get the punishment. For that it has to be proved first of all. So it conducts an inquiry and investigation part and tries to prove the alleged violation true. Then only you will get a remedy or the victim will get the remedy. So if it is a violation of human right or it is an abatement means to aid, if somebody is doing a wrong act and the other person or his friend maybe, he is supporting or helping him to do that wrong act, so that is that you are abetting the person to do that crime or the wrongful act. Or negligence means you were not careful enough, you have not taken the necessary precautions, and because of that the other person may have suffered a harm. The complaint can be filed by the victim or his or her representative, or court may direct the commission with a complaint, and at times the commission may initiate inquiry and investigation on its own. So remember this thing, this is a very famous maxim, suo motu. It is a very famous, it means on its own. So when there is a crucial matter that has occurred but there is nobody capable of filing a case, then the court may or the commission may on its own take the cognizance of the matter, take notice of the matter, and it may start the proceedings. Proceedings will start, obviously first there will be an inquiry, and then with proper evidences, proper investigation will take place, and then the alleged wrongful act will be proved whether it is done or not. So that's how it goes. So if the commission has the complaint with it, then it starts the investigation, it starts the proceeding. Otherwise, if there is a matter and nobody is out there to file a case against that crucial action which has occurred, then it may take a suo motu. Like today, if I take the example of today's scenario, then the COVID situation, no person, no government has filed a case that the COVID cases are rising and there should be a lockdown imposed or not. So the High Court has taken cognizance of the matter on its own, that is known as suo motu. It has seen that the High Court in various states, Madras, Delhi, Allahabad High Court, they have seen that the cases are rising, medical facilities are not adequate and proper which are to be provided to the corona positive patients so that they may recover quickly. Because of that, they are suffering. We are losing the lives of so many innocent people. So taking cognizance of the matter, the high courts they have initiated the proceedings, and that is known as suo motu. So similarly, commission may also initiate on its own the proceedings. The commission may inquire suo motu based on some human rights violation news or report published through the media. If media has published that against this person, against this weaker section of the society, for example, this act has been done which is clear cut violation of their human rights, so the commission may take suo motu because they are the weaker sections of the society. They may not be able to afford those high fees that the senior lawyers charge, so they may not be able to file the cases, and they do not have adequate resources, or they are not financially strong enough to file a case and then go to courts regularly for the hearings. So on their behalf, by suo motu cognizance, commission may start the proceedings. Suo motu inquiry is especially useful when victims belong to weaker sections of the society and have limited access to justice delivery mechanisms. As I said, commission has powers of a civil court, and in conducting an inquiry or investigation it can utilize various powers including summon and enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath. As you may have seen, people who come as a witness, they take the oath that whatever I will be speaking, that will be true as per my knowledge. So they summon means to call. Firstly, they call upon the witnesses, they examine them, they put an attendance that this witness was called, he or she has arrived, or he or she is absent in the proceedings, and then there will be an oath, and then he will be asked to give the evidence or whatever statement he wants to produce before the court. Ask for production of any document before itself. So the court can ask that for an evidence part, this or that document can be presented as a proof. Receive evidence on affidavits. Request public record from any court or office. Like if there was a person who worked in an income tax office or any office, any department, then from that office to request for some documents, to request for some papers or some CCTV camera footages and etc. that can form a part of evidentiary proof that can be requested by the court itself. Examine witnesses or documents. Obviously, once all the evidences and proofs, documents are with the commission or with the court, then it has to examine it, it has to check for its validity. Once the inquiry is completed, commission can make recommendations to governmental authority in cases where any public servant is the perpetuator of human rights violation. Means if there is a public servant or a government official who has committed an action that resulted in other person's human right violation, any of human right, okay, not all, but any one, if it is violated, then it will be said to be a human rights violation. And for that case, if it is done by a public servant, then commission, if it wants, it can make some suggestions, it can give recommendations to the government that this or this action you may take to set a deterrent or to give the punishment to the public servant who has committed that wrongful act. Recommendation may include payment of compensation to the victims or suggest initiation of proceedings for prosecution of the public servant. As I said, whatever the punishment should be, either it should be in the form of compensation that has to be paid by the accused to the victim or to the representative of the victim, or it may be that now a proper proceedings should start against him or her, whosoever has committed the wrongful act, whether it is a male or a female, whosoever has committed it against that person, to start the proceedings in a proper court of law so that he can be prosecuted, means he can be punished for whatever sort of punishment is there in the rule book. The commission can approach Supreme Court or High Court for directions and orders, since it's a commission, and these courts, commission is a sort of quasi judicial body, if you remember, and these Supreme Court or high courts, these are the actual bodies, these are not quasi ones. So commission and everything else which is below these courts can always approach to the real courts, that is High Court or Supreme Court. If it's a state commission matter, then it can approach the High Court of that particular state, and if it's a national commission matter, then obviously it will report to the Supreme Court. But but the state commission can also sometimes refer to the Supreme Court, as we do in simple hierarchy. Commission may also ask the state authority to provide immediate interim relief to the victim. That means if there is a situation that has resulted in so much ruckus or so much loss by the wrongful act to the victim or to the victim's family, then to provide an immediate relief to that person and his family, commission can request the state to provide some payment, to provide a sort of amount as compensation, so that relief can be granted. Intervening in court proceedings, commission may with permission of court intervene in court proceedings concerning human rights violation. For example, commission can request the Supreme Court to transfer pending riot cases out of a state in which riots had happened, to ensure the witnesses are not threatened in any manner and that evidences are not damaged. That means, like we say that wherever it's a general rule that wherever the crime is committed, at the place of incident, FIR needs to be registered, and in that city itself the proceedings will start in the court. Okay, as we know, the first building block is the district level courts, right? So you have to start the proceedings from there. That's why wherever the crime is committed, the jurisdiction is in that particular city only, and moreover it can go to the that state High Court, and if it is not satisfied, then that is another case when it approaches to the Supreme Court. So that's why it is being written over here that if there is a riot, see, riots are committed generally by the powerful people, and the poor or the weaker sections of the society are superseded by them. They are considered to be inferior, they are pressurized, right? So it may happen that the powerful person can again intimidate, or it can force that do not give any evidence that goes against me, or do not be you should all make sure that you all are not setting up as a witness that will make me wrong in the court, or that will happen to prove me wrong, and it will provide me punishment. If that happens, I will kill you all. Like these types of things can happen. So to avoid that, to avoid the threatening of evidences, to avoid the threatening of witnesses, commission can intervene in between the pending proceedings or in between the ongoing proceedings of the court, and request it to transfer the case in some other place. Okay, so commission can request. See, you cannot order. As I said, these commissions are quasi judicial bodies, and quasi ones are always below the actual courts of law. So they cannot really command those Supreme Courts and High Courts, Supreme Court and High Courts. It can only request. It can only give a recommendation or a suggestion or an advice. It cannot order the Supreme Court or High Courts to function the way it wants them to. Okay. So commission can request that because of the riot has taken place in this particular area or this particular state, so you can take the matter out of that state. Okay, if the riot has happened in West Bengal, so you take the matter out of West Bengal. The proceedings should not take place in the High Court of West Bengal, rather it should happen in another court, or it should happen in Supreme Court itself, so that evidences are not tangled with, they are not disturbed, and the witnesses are also not threatened to not to give the evidence or to produce a testimony or to produce a statement that will go against the person because of which those riots are happening. See, this riot case was just an example. Inspection of jails. Commission may also visit any jail or other governmental institutions where prisoners are lodged or detained to study the living conditions of inmates and make recommendations to the government. As the main function of these commissions is to make the recommendations so that the situation can improve. So these are all parts and functions of the commissions that we are doing right now. So you see that they can function as a court wherein they can summon the witness, they can examine the documents or the evidences on proof, then they can intervene in a court proceeding so that the matter can be transferred to another court of law so that the evidences and the witnesses are not disturbed or threatened. Then they can visit a jail in which they can see that what is the condition of the prisoners, what are the hygienic or health conditions in which they are surviving, in a particular jail number, how many people are living, is their health situation proper, and all health facilities, medical facilities, fooding, that all is provided to them in a better manner or not. So they can go to see the living conditions in which they survive in that particular jail. Awareness and sensitization. Commission can review various human rights laws either in constitution or other statutes and recommend measures to the government for their effective implementation. So it can see that what all right laws are given in the constitution, it can interpret it, and if there is something missing, some slot missing, then it can again give recommendations to the government authorities so that that missing part can be filled, that vacuum can be filled. And those right laws which are in existence, they are not existence merely in the documents or merely in the papers, but on the ground level also. For smooth implementation and working conditions, they are implemented, they are effectively practiced. For that, all recommendations can be given by the commissions. Any commission which is set up, if you just wind up from this video, and if you just go and check some write down on Google some committees and commissions of India, you will get a huge list of commissions, and those were set up for giving suggestions on a particular matter. So any commission which is set up by the government, the main function of it is to give recommendations to the government on a particular matter. Here we are talking about the National Commission and its powers and functions. So you are reading there that awareness. See, this can also be linked to this part. How? Let me tell you that. Awareness, if the situation or the hygiene conditions of the area, or the living conditions, the medical facilities, the fooding facilities which are provided to the prisoners, any of these or all of these, if it's not proper, it's not normal, then recommendations can be provided, awareness about this situation can be created by the commission, and recommendations can be provided so that those people can also survive in a dignified manner. See, as I told you, prisoners are also human beings in turn, right? At the last point, they are also humans. They also have they are also entitled to some basic human rights so that their life can also be proceeded in a dignified manner. Every person has a dignity of his own. Commission can evaluate various factors including acts of terrorism which prevent the enjoyment of human rights and recommend appropriate remedial measures to the government. So you see, it can look into various prevalent situations of the society, and then whatever recommendations or whatever it feels fit, it can give the recommendations to the government. Commission's role includes studying various international human rights laws and make recommendations for their effective implementation at the domestic level. See, you can always infer some good things from the other people, right? So the commission, they see, they study, they interpret, they read what international human rights laws say, and then they try to implement it in their own country, in their own state. And how will they implement it? With the help of government. And how will they take the help of government? By giving them proper suggestions. Furthermore, the Commission can undertake and promote research in the field of human rights, as well as spread human rights literacy among various sections of society and promote awareness of safeguards available for the protection of these rights through publications, media, seminars and other available means. So obviously awareness का मतलब ये होता है that you make the public aware of a particular situation, of the rights that they are having. If a person is not aware of the rights of the law of his country, then how will he claim that my this or that right is violated? So first of all, you should know that what all things you have in hand, right? So that can happen if you publicize it through media, through mass media. I think everybody knows what are the various means of communication through which public awareness can be created. So these commissions can also set up various measures by which they can create awareness. Lastly, the Commission can encourage and support the efforts of non-governmental organizations and institutions involved with human rights work. See, you always have to support the other people also. So the non-governmental organizations, the NGOs that are working, and any other institution which is not directly connected to the government, a government official can support those institutions, and in this case that government official which I'm talking about is this commission. Now next we will do in the next video. Thank you.